up, everybody? This is Michael with Rookie Sports Cards, and today we have a very special episode of Behind the Bar with Rookie Sports Cards. And I know I say they're very special every episode, but today is exceptionally special because we have a very special guest today, and that is my son, Noah. So, son, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, Noah Michael, 12 years old, 7th grade. Play baseball and football, and yeah, that's about it.
The usual kid stuff?
Yeah.
Usual. How you doing in school? You do good in school?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I know he does good in school. I just trying to get him to loosen up a little bit. That's all. So, all right, we're going to talk about two things today, right? We're going to talk about the NFL draft that just happened, the first ever virtual draft. But then we also have been wanting to talk about the Houston Astros cheating scandal, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so, but as with what is tradition here, we are behind the bar. And you've seen my episodes of Behind the Bar, so you know how it goes, right? Okay. Well, so I will offer you a drink. I have two choices in the refrigerator for you. I have a Coke Zero or a Sprite. What would you like?
I'll take a Sprite.
We'll take a Sprite. All right. Here you go, nice and cold. Let me get you a coaster. There you go, son.
Thank you.
And I believe I will have a skunky Bud Light. Let me grab a coaster for myself. All right, sir. Well, dang, you even know the wait to open it?
Open what?
The drink.
Oh, just gonna wait for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You even know that you gotta wait. You're supposed to wait. Cheers, son.
Cheers.
For a good episode. All right. So first thing we want to talk about is the NFL draft. Now, this year's draft was a little bit different. Now, I've been watching drafts since I was probably your age. So a long, long time. This was the first year ever that the draft was a virtual draft, meaning everything was done online, kind of not too far from how we're recording now, you know? And that was different because you've seen the draft, how it was in the past. It's a big production, big things like that.
Players go or they stay at home. A lot of that stuff.
Exactly. So from your point, how did you enjoy the draft based between this year and last year? What did you like better? What did you like about this one? What didn't you like? Tell me.
Well, I didn't like how. Well, I like how when the athletes get picked from a team, I like how they give the speech, like how it's change their lives and stuff.
Yeah. Like having Roger Goodell walk up and give them the hug and all that good stuff,
and then pose for their picture with their jersey and the team. Yeah. I really liked that.
So we didn't get to see that this time around, but I think what I liked more about it, because I did miss that, but the thing that I liked more about it was the fact that we got to see them with the family.
Yeah.
Because you don't always get to see that. A lot of times the NFL requires, especially if you're like a top 3, top 5 draft pick or a bigger name in the draft, the NFL almost requires you to be in New York or wherever the event is, and not a lot of guys want to do it. Some guys just want to be at home with their families, you know? It's not mandatory, but it's strongly recommended. So, and I know that sometimes players just don't, but they have to do it because they feel obligated. But I enjoyed that part of seeing the families getting that experience with the family.
Now, what a lot of people don't really know is that the families really help them to get where they are, because taking them to practice as a kid, paying for their equipment and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's what a lot of people don't really see.
It is. And I think ESPN they do a good job about sort of giving a backstory on the players, but they never really do focus on that aspect of it, like the parent aspect of it, you know. So that was good, but I did hear a lot of good things about it. How just a lot of the commentators were saying like, "Oh, look there he is with his family," and seeing him react with the family. Yeah. So I personally like this format better. It kind of made me think like, well, geez, why do you need to have that giant spectacle again if it went so well doing it virtually? And I have a feeling that a lot of players now are going to sort of opt out to do it like how they did,
Yeah.
If they could get it done, why not, So
Yeah.
I want to talk about a couple things. So we want to go through the first 3 picks in the draft, the first 5 picks in the draft, how we think they went. Do we think each team took the right player?
Yeah.
And then we'll get into our teams because I know we both have our teams and our opinions, right? So
Yeah, right on.
I got my iPad here.
I got my phone here.
You got your phone here with your notes. So we'll go through the first 5 picks. Okay, so number 1 overall was
Joe Burrow going to Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow out of LSU going to Cincinnati. Now, if you're Joe Burrow, how do you feel about playing for the Bengals?
Honestly, for me, Cincinnati's not a great team.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty obvious. But if I'm Joe Burrow, I would want to be that guy to be on the worst team because the quarterback is the guy who brings them up and is the guy who scores the points with them.
Yeah, he's the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know they say defense wins championships. I believe that if you're already up and all you need is to stop them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can score points on defense, but most of the points are scored on offense.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe Burrow, I mean, the guy's amazing.
He's a great quarterback. He's a good talent. He didn't get a chance to play at Ohio State when he was there, so he transferred out, went over to LSU, wins the Heisman. It's a great story. He's a Cincinnati kid, so to go to the Bengals, that's great. Now, excuse me. Now, I know there was a little bit of talk that he was hesitant about going to the Bengals. He never really came out and said, I don't want to play for the Bengals, but he kind of made a comment about the organization. I know they're not the best organization, but they're definitely not the worst. They're definitely not the Browns, right? They're not the Redskins. I think they're sort of always in the middle of the cusp there. I mean, he's got some good talent around him. He's got his number 1 receiver is who? AJ Green. Yeah. They got Joe Mixon out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They got some players. They got some players. So I'm definitely excited to see Joe Burrow and see how well he does. But I think as far as him going number 1 overall, we knew it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knew
it. I thought it was either Burrow or Tua, but honestly, I think Burrow beats Tua by a landslide.
I do too. I think we'll get into Tua. We'll get into Tua. So the number 2 pick overall. See that dad joke? It's a dad. All right. So the number 2 pick overall, Chase Young, Ohio State. Something about Ohio State and those pass rushers. Pass rushers, right? Yeah, defense end.
Killer bees.
Monsters, man. And so Chase Young goes number 2 to Ohio State. Now, Chase Young was the best player in the draft, hands down.
Yeah.
Right? Now, does Washington need a quarterback?
I don't know. I think they do.
Who did they draft last year? Because last year they drafted a quarterback in the first round.
I honestly don't know.
Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
But he's sort of unproven.
Yeah.
He's unproven. He hasn't done anything. So they could have went quarterback there, but instead they take the safe bet. They go for the top player in the draft overall. They take Chase Young, who's a killer. I think he's going to be well. To me personally, I believe he's a little bit undersized. Although to be honest, I don't know that for a fact. I don't know his statistics. I don't know how tall he is. He looks a little bit undersized. I think if you were to compare him to Nick Bosa, size-wise, he's way smaller.
Bosa's huge.
Bosa is huge.
Bosa's
so
monster.
That's what I think. I have a feeling he's going to have a little bit of trouble going against those strong left tackles, those all pros. But we'll see. I don't think that's necessarily a bad pick. It's not a surprise either. He's the best player in the draft. He goes number 2 overall. So do you have the number 3 pick?
Yeah, it's Jeff Okudah.
Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State. Another Buckeye.
Yeah, something about the Buckeyes in the first rounds. Top 10 picks?
Always, There's more than a few. Now the interesting thing about the number 3 pick, son, is I'm not sure if you were up on it, but Detroit was looking to trade down from this position. They were looking to trade back. But from the reports that I heard, not a lot of inquiries, not a lot of good offers. So they took the best player available, and it's the top defensive back in the draft. So the defense, Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. He was a defensive coordinator for the Patriots for all those years. He comes over to Detroit to be the head coach. So they pick a defensive-minded player. So
Yeah. Makes
there
sense.
you go.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense. Number 4, we got who do we got?
Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle out of Georgia.
Out of Georgia. Yeah.
Bulldog.
So New York Giants. What do you think?
Honestly, what division are they in? What's like
I know
their
they're the NFC, probably NFC East.
yeah, and
Don't
who's
ask
in
me
the
to play. You make
who's
me
in
look
the
bad
East?
for all these people. I don't know, a lot of players.
I know. But it's like some of those where the Redskins in their division, they're
I think
like
so,
more defense. They're more of like a defensive team. All that,
Defensive-minded team.
yeah. I just don't know.
Probably the Eagles.
Yeah,
The Eagles and all those guys. I think, you know, Eli Manning's gone.
yeah,
They take Daniel Jones, right? Danny Dimes. You know, you draft Saquon Barkley.
yeah,
You need somebody to block for both of them.
yeah,
And I think that was the trouble and the problem that they were having
yeah,
the last couple of years is they had no offensive line. So they draft the kid out of Georgia, Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle, problem solved.
yeah,
We'll see. You know, the expectations for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. I think they have a new head coach still. It's his first or second year.
Yeah.
So
it's like second.
yeah, growing
Yeah.
pains. You know, we'll see how that turned out. You know.
Yeah.
The obviously with the cornerback and offensive tackle, they're not the sexy picks. They're not the guys that we heard of, that we knew
Yeah.
of. You know, we'd imagine they're probably the best at their position. That's why they're getting drafted in the first round. But
Yeah.
quietly, top five draft pick, right? Multi-million-dollar contracts for.
Yeah.
So number 5, and here it is, right? We got our answer. Tua
Yeah.
Tagovailoa, right? Did I say it right?
I don't know.
I think I did.
think you did.
I think I said it pretty
Yeah,
good.
I think you said it right.
So Tua's a kid out of Alabama, right? Superstar, was a stud. What was his main issue coming into the pros? What were people most
I
concerned
think
about?
it was his injuries.
Absolutely, those
Yeah.
injuries, right? Coming off of a hip surgery.
Yeah,
I think
remember watching that. That was bad.
it was rough,
It
right?
was super bad.
It was
Yeah.
it was terrible. You know, this kid just has nothing but heart, man. Just watching him come in, filling for Jalen Hurt, right? Wins the national title for Alabama,
Yeah.
comes back the next year, takes over the starting spot. Like, the kid is nothing but heart. My concern is the injury. I think the upside is huge, right? This kid's got an arm. I mean, they're comparing him to Steve Young. They're comparing him to all these Mark Brunell, to all these Hall of Fame caliber left-handed quarterback. Well, there's not a lot, but
Yeah.
you know, but
Unless we talking college and Matt Leinart.
yeah. How long was that? 12, 13 minutes in, son. You brought up USC, okay. But
I had to.
I know. That's what I'm saying. 13 minutes in, yeah, that was longer than I expected, to be honest. But I think for Miami now, look, Miami drafted. I'm sorry, they didn't draft, but they traded for Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Who's the number 1 draft pick. Maybe because I'm biased, I'm a UCLA guy, but I think Josh Rosen can be a good starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
He just has to be right. He has to be under the right circumstances. Yeah. Now, with Tua coming in, the two of them battling, I think they have another quarterback also.
Some guy.
One of the journeyman quarterbacks. Oh God, I can't think of his name, but I think Tua going to the Miami Dolphins was probably, of all the teams that needed a quarterback, Miami was.
Yeah, didn't they lose Tannehill from?
Yes, they lost Tannehill.
Yeah, and Tannehill goes on to have a great season with the Titans.
Yeah,
takes over Mariota's starting spot.
Gets him shipped to the Raiders.
Yeah,
right. Jesus.
And honestly, I think it's kind of off topic, but I think the Raiders needed Mariota.
I think so too.
Derek Carr's too fragile.
We can get into that. We'll get into the Raiders. You know, I do enjoy the Raiders, but. Yeah, I think Tua coming out of Alabama, the guy's nothing but a winner. I think he might have lost like 2 games in his entire career, right? Yeah. Going over to Miami, I think that's a great. I don't know if it's a great spot for him. I don't know if these organizations who just have trouble getting quarterbacks like Miami. If you look since Dan Marino, they must have had probably like 20 different starting quarterbacks. So I don't know. But Tua going there. Good luck to you, sir. I'm glad you got drafted top 5. I hope you do well. Would love to watch you play. We're going to go to number 6, only because this is an interesting guy, and we know a lot about him. because he plays in the Pac-12, and I'm a UCLA guy. You're a USC guy. So we've seen this guy. We've watched him play, right? So who are we talking about?
Justin Herbert, quarterback of Oregon.
Quarterback out of Oregon. Now he gets drafted by the LA Chargers. Great spot for him, right?
Yeah.
I think of all the quarterbacks drafted, this is the quarterback that is in the best situation.
Yeah.
You got Melvin Gordon. You got offensive weapons. You got Mike Williams, wide receiver. You got Hunter Henry, tight end. You got another wide receiver that's really good too. If the guy could stay healthy, I forget his name. You got a great offense. A great defense, great pass rushers. Like, he is in a great spot in a great city. This kid is a prototypical quarterback. If you were in a lab and you were creating a quarterback, you would make him have every attribute Justin Herbert has and more. Like, this is the guy.
Well, that's what gives him more of the advantage, because he's great passing. We saw in that championship game against. What was the team? What was it?
I don't know. They played. I feel terrible, son. I've been a terrible fan these last couple years, but we've seen him play, because I've seen him play UCLA, and the kid has a rocket arm. Granted, the talent in the Pac-12 is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be amazing.
Yeah, it used to be really good, really, really good. It has gone down, but I think Justin Herbert's going to be good just because of his weapons that he has around him. And if you could run the ball with Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, that takes a lot of pressure off of you. That takes a lot of pressure off of a veteran quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback. So I think he's going to be in a good spot. So that's the top six draft picks, guys. Who picked first, the Niners or the Saints? We did the Niners.
I think because you guys took from the Bucks.
Yeah, so we traded back. We were the 13th overall. We traded with Tampa Bay to move back one. We got some compensation in the second round, but we took, surprise, defensive tackle for what seems like the 8th year in a row. It's probably like the 4th year in a row. But we took a tackle, Javon Kinlaw, out of South Carolina. This kid is an absolute stud, an absolute menace. You know, we got rid of our defensive tackle with Eric Armstead, right? So he fills in a hole. He fills in a hole. He's basically Aaron Armstead on a cheaper contract.
Basically, since you guys lost Eric Armstead, basically guaranteed starting spot.
Right back into it. Yeah.
Right
so
back.
I think it was a great draft pick. I know a lot of people said that we need wide receivers. We need wide receivers, and maybe we do. But the way I look at it is, as a fan, first of all, the 49ers have a terrible track record of drafting wide receivers. Like, we haven't had a good wide receiver probably since we drafted Terrell Owens in '96, right?
Yeah.
But I know we've drafted a ton of first-round wide receivers, and they never, ever pan out. And that goes beyond, and that's the second point, is that goes beyond the 49ers. First-round wide receivers very, very rarely pan out in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find one. And the way I look at it also is we made it to the Super Bowl without having a really, really true number one wide receiver. Yeah. So
if anything, it was Deebo Samuel.
Oh, he's going to be our guy.
Yeah,
and I think if
you guys won that game, he had to be the
MVP, and I had money on that.
Because it wasn't going to be Garoppolo.
Yeah, Garoppolo.
Guy threw what, 2-3 picks?
By the end of it, he had 2, but he wasn't doing nothing special.
Yeah. The way I see it is that you guys just traded Emmanuel Sanders to the Saints, my team.
Yeah.
Go Saints. Do that. You guys just lost. I remember my dad telling me.
Yeah, because
that Goodwin guy?
Yeah, Marcus Goodwin.
You guys just lost him, so that's already 2 receivers that you guys lost.
Down,
luckily, you guys have Deebo Samuel. You guys kept your best receiver on the team. But I think it's just Kyle Shanahan trying to look in to get younger, newer, faster guys off of these veterans. Get them
exactly, and that's what all my 49er groups are saying. We need to draft Jerry Jeudy, or we need to get CeeDee Lamb, and we could have got both of them.
Yeah,
but I didn't see anything special about those guys. I really didn't. We got rid of Marcus Goodwin, but he was hurt.
Yeah,
he was hurt most of the time, right?
I don't even think he
didn't even play a full season. Yeah, he didn't play in the playoffs. Emmanuel Sanders did come in really well towards the end.
Wasn't he a Bronco before?
He was a Bronco.
Broncos.
We got him right before the trade deadline. He did okay for coming in the middle of the season, but he was going to be too expensive. And again, he wasn't really a number one wide receiver. So I think Kyle Shanahan has proved he could. There's no real number one player in our offense. We got George Kittle. If there was a number one wide receiver, it'd be George Kittle.
Yeah.
But with our offensive running backs, the way they catch the ball at the backfield with Kyle Shanahan's offense, we really don't need a number one wide receiver. So
you guys have your running backs who are really good. Matt Breida.
Yep.
No,
we just let Matt Breida go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just leave
because he was hurt for the Super Bowl, right?
I don't know if he was hurt or if he just didn't start. The third string
came.
Yeah.
Was it Mostert?
Mostert's gonna be our starter now.
Yeah,
so we still have Mostert, Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy who got hurt.
We still have Jerk McKinnon, who hasn't played it down for us. I think we're gonna offload him. And so and we just drafted another guy, so we're good, man. We're set. I'm not worried about us. We did end up taking we chose right after you. So after we took our defensive tackle, we skipped all the way down to number 24, and tell us who the Saints picked.
Cesar Ruiz. He's a center and a guard out of Michigan.
What do you know about him?
Not much, but actually not at all. But I know we need a new center. Was it Max Unger who we just had? Or was that our nose guard?
You know your team. That might be your center.
He was either our center, but he's getting old.
I'll tell you this.
Bet.
So Cesar Ruiz, right, is a center guard out of Michigan. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but do you know who the coach is for the Michigan Wolverines?
Was it? I know him. Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. John Harbaugh. No, Jim.
No, it's Jim.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim was the one.
John is for the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens.
Jim is for the. Okay, so
used to be
Jim Harbaugh used to coach for the 49ers. Now Jim Harbaugh is a downhill running team.
Yeah.
Like he's smash mouth guy. So if you were offensive line on his team, you have to be good.
Yeah.
You had to have been good. So I think this guy's going to be a good pick for your team. I mean, the longer you could keep Drew Brees on his 2 feet.
Yeah.
You guys are always going to have a chance to win 12, 13 games.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, with Drew Brees is that he's getting older.
Yeah.
What, 41?
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there.
With 2 more years on his contract. 2 years.
He just signed that 2-year deal.
Yeah, he just signed. But then you have Sean Payton's wise guy saying we can't wait to have Drew Brees in that interview. Drew Brees for his final year as an NFL quarterback. And so we're like, when I heard that, I was like, so I'm guessing, most obvious, he's going to retire after next season, even if he doesn't get to or win the Super Bowl.
Maybe they take it 2 years at a time. I think Brees probably has 4 years left, 4 to 5 years left. So maybe they take it 2 years at a time with this contract. The man's a great quarterback,
and he hardly gets hurt.
He hardly gets hurt.
Got hurt. First time I've seen him as a Saints fan. Which I go back.
Your whole life.
Yeah. Which goes back, and it's the first time him getting hurt against the Rams.
Never missing games.
Week 6.
Yeah, 4? And it was a it was a kind of a sketchy injury, but
unlucky. Definitely.
You draft the offensive lineman and you keep them safe, right? Yeah. You protect your investments, and an offensive lineman which a lot of people don't understand. An offensive lineman just doesn't protect your your quarterback, but it protects your running backs. It protects your tight ends. It protects your wide receiver. It makes everybody.
And when we're running a pass play, I notice this a lot. But Kamara is a great blocker.
Oh yeah,
great blocker.
He is for being his size.
Yeah, and when he's not running routes or getting a handoff or a pitch, he's blocking for Brees, and he's
pass pro, right?
Yeah,
yeah. He picks up blitzes, man. I since. I always cheer for the Saints now because of you, so I always do get to watch them. So, it's just I love watching offensive mind because I played offense my whole life. Yeah. Just watching offensive-minded coaches and offensive players, just I kind of look at the game differently. And I do notice that for him being as small as he is, even if he's on the left and he sees a blitzing cornerback on the right, he's flashing across Drew Brees' face to at least get a hit on him so Drew could step up. So
get out of the pocket.
Yeah, you know, you never, you know, when you're
And
drafting, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, they're always usually the same teams,
Yeah.
right? The winning teams. You don't ever second guess a coach like Sean Payton as to who he picks. So Cesar Ruiz with the 24th pick out of Michigan.
Not only does Brees have Kamara, he also has Latavius Murray, who's a huge
Underrated.
fast, yeah,
Underrated.
super underrated.
Super
underrated. He's the Luke Kuechly or Kuechly, whatever you.
Yeah, Kuechly.
Yeah, I think it's Kuechly. Yeah, Luke Kuechly of offense.
Yeah.
Luke Kuechly is super underrated.
He is. And for those who don't know, Luke Kuechly is the linebacker out of Boston College for the Carolina Panthers, who I think retired this year.
I was just about.
He should though.
Yeah.
Man, that man, he gets a concussion, 2 to 3 concussions.
I get him mixed up with Andrew Luck for some reason. It's weird.
Like that?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, so right after that pick, the 49ers with the 25 pick take Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State, wide receiver.
Another wide receiver.
Another wide receiver. So here you go. Right?
Pac-12.
Pac-12 wide receiver. I don't like this pick. I think he is too small. I think the selling point on this guy is he is a speedster who specializes in yards after catch.
He's like the Brandon Cooks.
Exactly,
like a Brandon
Cooks
is much taller.
Yes. Now, here's the caveat here. Here's where I think it could work. In a Kyle Shanahan's offense, if you keep him in motion, if you keep him moving, if you keep him doing things, then okay, maybe it'll work. But if you just keep this guy in a slot, or if you keep him, if somebody's playing a press coverage on him,
he's not going to get off the ball.
He ain't going to get off the ball. He's not going to stay healthy.
He's going to stay there.
He's going to stay there. It's not going to work. To me,
we'll either stay there or go back.
Yes. I see this as a Dante Pettis. I'm going to compare him to the Dante Pettis pick that we chose last year, wide receiver out of Washington. The guy didn't play it down. High expectations, high hope. Hasn't played.
Yeah.
I hope for the best. I always do. That's just how I feel about it. So that's that. Overall, that's the first round, just the notable teams. But overall, how do you feel the Saints did? Do you have your by team?
Honestly, I'm glad we got Emmanuel Sanders. I'm even though he's a veteran, I like
He's solid. I
mean, that's just an add to our wide receiver collections. We have Michael Thomas, who's
one of the top 3 receivers.
Yeah, and I feel he's super underrated. I feel like he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Yeah, because he's not flashy like OBJ and the other guys. He just quietly does his work. Yeah, he quietly does his work.
And what I like about him is he hardly celebrates in the end zone like most guys do.
Yeah.
See Antonio Brown getting fined for twerking, something like that. The only time he did get fined, I think he got fined and a flag, was when he pulled, was it Terrell Owens? Was it Terrell Owens or Randy Moss? Where he pulled the cell phone out.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah, he did that.
That was
one of his
Terrell Owens.
One of his big catches. Yeah, I was right either way.
Here's this. So I just pulled up the draft picks by team, and it looks like in the 7th round, the Saints chose a quarterback.
Yeah, that's Tommy Stevens.
Yeah,
and that's just adding on to our list of quarterbacks.
Yeah, and you know what they are, son, and they call them training camp arms, and that basically means you can't have Drew Brees throwing passes all day long in training camp. So they bring in a training camp arm just to have somebody to throw.
And that's in Tommy Stevens.
Yeah, and that's probably what he's going to be. Whether or not he makes the team, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's a stud, who knows? But,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But
most guys aren't like that. Most guys are like, a lot of them, actually, all like the lower picks.
Yeah.
They're good in college, but then they suck in the pros.
For some reason, they just can't turn that corner. So to recap, number 1, 24 overall, Cesar Ruiz, Michigan, center, number 1 ranked center in the draft.
Yeah.
So that's cool. The 3rd round, 10th pick, Zack Bond, outside linebacker out of Wisconsin. I'll tell you this, I don't know much about this guy. He was the number 2 ranked. Well, I say I don't know much, and I'm going to tell you all about it. That's what I'm reading it.
Yeah.
He was the number 2 ranked outside linebacker in the draft. I do know this about Wisconsin players, especially the linebackers. Those dudes
Yeah.
can hit. Those dudes can play.
And that's just a collection for our linebackers. We have Alex Anzalone, who's a beast, really good player. Do we still have Demario Davis?
I don't know, bro. You tell me.
I think we do. I feel like we do.
I'm just impressed. You know the number 2 tight end on your team.
I don't know. I don't know if he's I think he's like a cornerback or something.
Well, how about this? In the 3rd round, 41th overall, you take Adam Troutman, number 2, a tight end who was the number 2 ranked tight end in the draft. So you're getting more weapons there. You're getting more weapons for Brees. You got Tommy Stevens down in the 7th, and those were your 4 and only picks. So you guys did really well. I think.
Yeah, I was just looking. So when I searched up the draft before we started recording, the Saints and the Chiefs had the fewest picks in the draft. We had it says 4, but it said 5, and the Dolphins had 14.
Jeez.
14 picks. That's like how many rounds are there?
There's only 7.
That's like averaging
2 picks
around. Yeah.
Dang. Good stat, dude. Good stat. I like that. And then forgetting the number 1 ranked center, the number 2 ranked linebacker, the number 2 ranked tight end, and then you got a 7th round quarterback. I didn't see what rank he was, but for 3 of your 4 getting a top 1 to 2 player in their position, great draft, dude. Great draft. So 49ers, we got Javon Kinlaw, the number 2 ranked defensive tackle. We got Brandon Ayuk, who was the number 5 wide receiver, 6 foot 205. That means he's 5'10", 5'11". Yeah. We got Colton McKivitz in the 5th round, offensive tackle out of West Virginia, 13th overall at his position. We got Charlie Warner, who's a tight end. I don't know why we keep picking up these tight ends, man. Doesn't tell me what rank he was.
They're not going to do much. They're not going to play for another what? Until
Kittle retires. But we also have Kittle. We also have Trent Taylor. I know we have another tight end.
I think you guys make a good decision in picking offensive tackles, offensive guards, because that's just one more person to block for Garoppolo, blocking with Kittle. Because Kittle's an amazing blocker.
He's a great blocker.
I saw that one game where they were in the red zone. They needed like a touchdown to win. And Kittle just drives I think it was cornerback.
Probably a DB or an outside backer.
Yeah. He's shading drives him to the back of the end zone. So the run game can...
Yeah, that run game is... And everything... like, I tell everybody this. This is football 101. If you could run the ball, you could throw the ball. And if you establish a run early, you're going to just be able to run the ball. If you're going to establish a run early, then you're just going to be able to throw the ball. So that's where it's at. But overall, I think the Niners had a good draft. I think the Saints had a good draft after looking at it. I was impressed with the draft, sort of how they pulled it off, being the first ever virtual draft. Mm-hmm. So I think it went well. Yes, sir.
I'll take another one.
You take another one?
I'll take the Coke.
You'll take the Coke? That's a lot of soda. How about you finish that water and we'll see what it is. It is a small can. And you didn't have any for dinner, huh?
No, I nothing.
You did not. You're right. Mix it in with the water.
Because I knew we were going to be in a situation.
So, I think it was a good draft, man. I think it was interesting, just the way they did it. I enjoyed it.
Great draft for our teams.
Yes, I think so. So, very interested to see the way it all pans out. If there is a football season, I think there's going to be a football season.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to our second topic. Now, our second topic is a good one.
Looking forward to it.
He's been waiting.
Dying. I hit him up, Saturday?
Yeah, like a week ago almost.
Yeah, telling him, I want to do a podcast. Let's do a podcast.
So this means not. My boy knows a lot about football. He knows a lot about sports, but he knows even more about baseball. This is a sport. I admittedly I haven't watched baseball probably since him. Like, he's the only baseball I watch, him play. I'm a Dodger fan, so this does affect me because we're going to talk about the Houston Astros cheating scandal. So, let's sort of start from the very beginning. I know everybody knows the scandal. They know what happens, but we'll start where we start to hear these rumors that, and it started with the New York Yankees, I believe, where they were complaining about whistling
Whistling in the
coming from
dugout.
the dugout, and you didn't really hear any like it didn't go too far. I believe one of the coaches for the Red Sox says, "Oh well."
Alex Cora.
Yeah, he said like, "Oh, if all we had to do was whistle to get under the skin, we would have been doing it a long time ago, right?"
Yeah, and that's me. I like the Red Sox. Really good team, full of youngsters. Their 2-out hitting is amazing.
Yeah.
That's honestly what won the World Series for them in 2018. Not saying because you're a Dodger fan.
No, because immediately what
Yeah.
I'm saying, when you say they're a great 2-out hitting team, now is that because they're just really good at hitting with their back against the wall, or are they good at hitting because they know what's coming?
I don't.
And that's always going to be the debate with this
Yeah,
game,
I
right?
honestly believe it wasn't. I had thought Red Sox had nothing to do with it. I thought it was only the Astros because all you hear is the Astros hitting and you don't hear Red Sox.
Yeah, and that's what happened. So we first hear about it with the Yankees bringing it up about the Red Sox, right? That kind of gets pushed under the rug, whatever. The Red Sox win the World Series, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhat down the line, though, it comes out that the Astros started doing that. The Astros were doing
and it started in a game against the White Sox.
Against the White Sox.
Yeah. I watched. Shout out to John Boy Media.
You're the one who put me on to John Boy Media.
Yeah. He did a breakdown of the Astros cheating after it all. But before I get to that, the Red Sox and the Yankees brought it up after the video of the White Sox got released.
Really?
Once the video of the White Sox and the Astros of them banging on the trash can, once that got released, then the New York Yankees, my opinion, they're all like, oh, they got caught. I think we should chip in on what we should say so they can get a bigger consequence.
Yeah.
So they jump in. We hear whistling in the dugout, and it worked.
And it just snowballed.
Yeah.
Right? But then sort of the attention though got pushed off of the Red Sox and then got focused solely on the Astros. And then so that's when then you got to go back a year into these World Series, and John Boy Media did a great job of just putting together. It seemed like every 2 days, man, he was doing
something new came out.
Something new came out where he was putting these videos together, and then you just see the tweet threads, and then you just see what's going on. And I thought it was funny as a Dodger fan, like what the hell, like why, just to see the difference of us, like we score 4 runs in this inning and we're winning, and then we're like, how? And then all of a sudden the Astros score 5. We're like, what? Like just seeing it was in total disbelief. But then again, as Dodger fans, we're kind of
salty.
We're kind of used to that. Like we're used to like being like, oh fuck, there we go, we blew it. Like we're kind of used to
and
that.
The same thing happened in a game which is in the 2019 series, 2 years after the World Series that happened. Comes back to a game of the Dodgers and something about their defense in the 9th inning is just
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, you see that game in the Freeway Series. Ohtani kind of has a walk-off. Kenley Jansen not having a good year that year. He's better in the 2017 series.
Yes.
Ohtani hits a walk-off, and then I think they brought in like Joe Kelly to pitch for the Dodgers, and he blows it. And he totally.
And see, and that's the thing, like
the Dodger killer killing the Dodgers.
And that's what made it, and that's sort of what made it easier for us to accept, or like for us to be like, I knew it, because that just seemed to always be the case. Like Kenley all year long blows a save when we need to, when we went, like it just seemed to be the way, and that's what made it easier to accept as Dodger fans. Like, oh fuck, we just, great, that's just our luck, like that. And I hate when people say that, but in sports, I feel like that. And when you're a fan of certain teams, like that's just their luck. Like things just happen that way. So I know for us, it was just sort of one of those things. And last year, I honestly, like, I didn't even expect us to go to the World Series at that, because after we made it 2 years in a row or whatever, I'm like, we're not even, and we didn't. But let's fast forward. So we find out, right? We find out they cheated, right? At first they admitted, of course they're gonna admit it.
Yeah.
Now, you play ball. Granted, you're in travel ball, club ball.
Yeah, to be
It's
honest, we started doing it.
it's still little league. Yeah, and this is the age where they do. I remember when I was 12, when I was playing little league,
Yeah,
we played against a team that had two kids that were on the local travel ball team, and every time one was up second and one was up third, or one was up third, one was up fourth. They're always like right after one another because they were good kids. They really played good ball. You know, one would get on second base and he'd be standing on second base, and I was always a shortstop, so I would see him do this every other pitch
yeah.
or do
But then,
that, and it's super obvious, but
that's like breaking the unwritten rules. Because in Major League Baseball, there is not a rule saying you can't steal signs. There is a rule though saying no electronics in the dugout or in the stadium for the
yeah,
home team's advantage.
yes,
That's when
that's
they
like an
found
explicit
the Apple
rule.
Watch. That's when they found the Apple Watches,
Yeah.
the computers in the trash can, and then they find a camera in the center field wall.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So you play ball.
Mhm.
There's the unwritten rule, right? And in baseball, there's a lot of little unwritten rules, right?
Yeah, there's
There
a
is.
ton.
That's just the
There's a
way
lot.
it is, right?
Yeah.
That's the game. For you, where does it cross the line? And do you think what the Astros did was wrong?
Of course, I think it was wrong. Do I think that they stole the ring from the Dodgers? Not because I'm an Angel fan and I'm salty or pissed off that we
Yeah.
didn't even make it to the playoffs. I don't think they took that ring from me. I think they earned that.
You think they earned it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. I watched a Cody Bellinger interview in spring training, and he said, "We all know they stole a ring from us. They've been cheating for 3 years. I don't think it was 3 years. I think it was only 2 because I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know how long.
They said they were using some code breaking system in the
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
yeah. They said they were using a code breaking system in 2018 series in the season. And they would watch the film and then pick up on the signs
That's legal
from the broadcast. But I don't think they were
during
using
game or out of game.
No, out of game.
Okay,
like,
then that's legal.
Yeah, 2017 was really the only time they
We're doing it
actually
in live time.
in illegal terms. Yeah. So he says that comes out with his they stole the ring from us. Altuve stole a MVP from Judge in 2017 when they beat us in the World Series. And then the next day, Carlos Correa has an interview with Ken Rosenthal. He talks about how he said that the 2019 ALCS, the winning home run, walk-off home run Altuve hits against Aroldis Chapman, one of the hardest throwing pitchers in. The conspiracy theories about this is that Altuve was wearing a buzzer.
Oh, this is the one where he tells the people like don't rip my shirt off.
Correa says if there was anyone who did not like the trash can and hated when people would do it, it was Altuve. And he said the only reason that Altuve apologized, because the players, they apologized for what they did. The only reason why he apologized was because he apologized for not stopping it, for telling them, no, this is wrong, we cannot do this. I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying what I heard.
Yeah, that's what you heard, yeah.
Then he says the real reason why Altuve didn't want his shirt ripped off, again, not saying true.
He said, bring up that tattoo.
Yeah, the tattoo. Let me
tell you a little story about the Easter Bunny, son. If you believe that tattoo story.
Hey, like I said, I don't believe it.
Just what you heard.
Just what I heard. Said unfinished tattoo that looked terrible, that no one wanted that he wanted no one to see. And he said that his wife called Correa's wife when he had hit a walk-off at Minute Maid Park in a regular season game. And when they ripped off his shirt, he said his wife called Correa's wife Altuve's wife called Correa's wife, saying, why are they ripping off Altuve's shirt? I don't like it when he does that. So that's one thing that he touched up on what Cody Bellinger said. He touched on 2017 World Series. Honestly, I think this is true. All of their runs, most of their runs, came with runners on second base.
Runners in scoring position.
Yeah, runners in scoring position. Not just runners on second, but runners on second, first, third, bases loaded. But what a lot of only Dodger fans who don't play baseball, they say, oh yeah, they can see the signs, oh yeah, blah blah blah. What they don't realize is that when there's a runner on second base, the catcher uses multiple signs. We use it. Yeah. We do it in our travel ball. We have a sequence like 3-1-1. 3 pitch. We'll do the first one. We'll do the last one. Do the second one. Whatever.
Yeah, it's always it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same signs when there's nobody on base, because obviously you're if you're playing catcher and there's somebody on second, you're assuming they're going to steal my sign.
Yeah.
So you use fake
signs. It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. Yeah.
And teams, when they get to the playoffs, they automatically change their signs because those games, especially the World Series games, those games are way too important.
Everything counts.
Every
pitch counts. Every at bat
counts. So they create new signs. Like, I'm talking 10 signs, like 1, 3, outside, inside, 3, 1, 4, something like that. Yeah. And you can't.
So you're saying are you saying then if the Dodgers were dumb enough to keep the same signs and that's on them? Yeah. Or are you saying that they just didn't?
That's like saying it's Dave Roberts' fault for putting
Well, I think it is. I think Dave Roberts is to blame for some of it. It's
easy for us to blame because we're not in that situation.
Yeah, and we're not in the thing. You're right.
We're like, do I keep him another inning? They're like, do I keep him another inning? Do I take him out now? If I take him out now and our other pitcher comes in and he doesn't do good, what happens when we do that?
Yeah. It's called hindsight 2020. You know? Yeah. In hindsight, it's always easier.
Gum here. So,
but I will say this, man. The Dodgers didn't help themselves because the Dodgers had runners in scoring position plenty of times.
Yeah.
And they always leave men stranded on base like all the time. So I can't say that. So
kind of interrupted me.
Did I really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bud.
It's fine. So yeah, he talked about how the codes are different in the World Series and the playoffs. Then he talked about how he analyzed the games, went back, watched all of them. He brought back the signs, multiple signs. No one can debunk these. So, talks about that. All the runs are in scoring position on second base.
Yeah.
All of them. Gonzalez hits that go-ahead home run at Dodger Stadium to take them the lead, give them the lead, something like that. And it was like, and so then Game 4, multiple signs, multiple runners on base, on second base, gives them the lead, gives them runs. Game 5, the greatest game I've ever watched. Even though it's not my team.
Was that the 18-inning game?
No, that was 2018. That game wasn't even good. It should have been ended in the 9th inning because Ian Kinsler can't set his feet and make it.
Son, I try to forget all this stuff, like the heartache.
Yeah. So Correa says, Game 5, Bregman comes up with a pinch runner pinch runner and Derek Fisher, who hasn't been playing the whole playoffs. He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
He doesn't know they're decoding signs. I'm sure he does. But,
yeah, he probably knows.
But
he's not
in
it. He's not in it like everybody else is in it.
If I was him, I'm thinking, I'm not in the game, so I don't need to worry about that stuff. So you have pinch runner and Bregman hits a shot into left field. Scores Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher can fly. He's really fast.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Scores. They win the ball game. Now, I forgot. Completely forgot. They're talking how many games were in LA versus
Houston.
Houston.
I don't know, son. I know there was different series. There was 2 different series
But
when they played them.
When they won the games in Los Angeles, there's no camera in the center field.
Yeah.
So
but
it's
I think
like
I think they only won.
And they won Game 7. They won Game 7 in LA.
There's always going to be the argument, though. There's always going to be the whole momentum. Well, they have the momentum. You play way different when you're up 3 games to 2. You know what I mean? You're always going to have that. But
then the underdog can have the same momentum, but not
it's hard. Yeah,
capitalize.
it's harder. Yeah. I think you're always going to get that debate, son. I think it's always going to be like that. I think Dodger fans were always going to be salty, bro.
I'm not giving you guys any like, oh yeah, they did this, because I really like the Astros. I'm not a fan, but I really like them. They're a great team. Jose Altuve, Gold Glover. Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve in that middle infield.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman, another Gold Glover. Some great pitchers. Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole,
you can't say
Lance McCullers.
I'll tell you, they ain't cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those guys are throwing straight heat.
They're so good. They don't need to cheat.
Yeah. So I think but that's just going to be that. Now the thing about it is, let's fast forward. Okay. Now we are here. We find out, right? The Astros get punished. They get punished. Now they don't take the World Series away from them.
No, because I think that's stupid.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to anyway.
Yeah.
But what they do is they fire the coach and fire the GM.
I think that hurts.
You think that hurts more?
Yeah.
I think they took away draft picks as well.
Yeah.
Do you think that penalty was too harsh or not harsh enough, or what would you have done?
I think it's a little bit in the middle of, it's fairly harsh, but then like harsh. The things that people don't realize is that baseball is the hardest sport to play no matter what. Hardest sport. If you're fast, you can get handed off a ball and take off.
Yeah.
Like in football. If you're tall, you can...
Yeah, you dunk. You can
back
on and
get rebounds and just pass.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. Baseball, you need that hand-eye coordination. You have a ball coming at you at 90 plus miles an hour from 60 feet. That's not far away.
It's not far at all.
Not far at all. And their reaction time is just with a wood bat. A round wood bat.
Yeah.
That's
hitting
like
a round bat hitting a round object.
Yeah.
That's almost the physics is insane.
Yeah, the reason why it goes so far is because you have these people, Roldis Chapman mostly, throwing 100. Excuse me. 100. And the harder they throw, the farther it's going to go. Yeah, that's
soda coming back.
Yeah, it's worse than the Sprite.
Have some water. I think that by them firing the coach, coach, and some people said that's not harsh enough. You need to you need to find the players. You need to find the players.
Yeah.
I don't think I think it's impossible to find or to fire or suspend the players because the Astros would have to forfeit, 80 games or 60 games, however they did it. So I think by them,
and that's half of the games.
Exactly.
They play 160 games.
So if you find them 80, that's half.
And that's already hard enough to play for a new coach. As a baseball player, that's hard to play for a new coach.
And look at it this way. If you're a coach, right, you want to win. You're trying to win. You win, you keep your job. You lose your job. No coach wants to be fired, right? So
especially when you're playing on a winning team as the Astros.
Exactly. So now if you're a coach and oh shit, if I cheat and if I do this or if I allow my team to do this, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
Are you likely to try to steal signs again like they did?
No.
Exactly. No. So I think that's the reasoning why they did it the way they did, and they fired AJ Hinch, right?
Yeah.
They fired Hinch.
I love that guy.
And who knows if that man's ever going to get a job again.
Yeah, and you have and people are also blaming the general manager for doing it. The general manager, he didn't even play baseball.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with baseball until he made
AJ Hinch the coach.
Until he made like $250 million to buy the Astros, to own them, be their general manager, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was fired or if he resigned.
No, I think
if he just had to he quit, just sort of stepped aside.
And what I don't like about it is that the Red Sox coach got fired for it, and he had nothing
Alex
to do
Cora.
with it. Yeah.
No. I heard that it was Alex Cora and Joey Beltran.
Carlos
Beltran. I heard that those two guys were the sort of masterminds behind this whole entire sign stealing, camera bang on the trash cans. Well, I don't even think he plays. I think he got fired too.
No, he played with the Astros in 2017.
Yeah, so and that's where it came from because he was, and then so was Alex Cora. They were both on the Astros, so they took those cheating ways and they went to their new team, and that's why Alex Cora and the Red Sox. I think the Red
Sox.
He's a
manager.
Yeah, he was a manager. Yeah,
the Mets manager.
So they get reprimanded, and now the Red Sox just got handed down a punishment, and I think it was like draft picks. They took away draft picks.
See, draft picks,
that could kill an organization too.
It could, but then most likely it can't. It won't.
Well, who knows? Because there's very few superstar players. Most of the superstar players have to come from farm systems, and if you don't have draft picks to choose those players, then you have to buy yourself a high price free agent, and you don't have. Most teams don't have the funds to buy multiple players. So
like the lower spectrum teams, Marlins, the Rangers,
low salary cap.
Rangers used to be a really good team.
Used to be good.
They still have good players. Rougned Odor is an amazing shortstop.
Remember when he socked up?
Oh, I love that. I cannot stand Jose Bautista.
Joey Bats, he socked that dude in the face. He is good. He's small though. He's real little.
Yeah, he has Hunter Pence, a great right fielder. He's a right fielder. Great batter. He has a great bat.
I tell you, Lord, I tell you. All right, guys. So that's about it. That's our wrap up, man. So we talked about the NFL draft, right?
Yeah.
I liked it. You liked it, right? We kind of miss seeing them, you know, hug Roger Goodell because it is a dream come true for them. But it was, on the other hand, we got to see them interact with their families. That was great because you don't always get to see that.
Yeah.
You know, that part was awesome. We talked about our team's drafts. I think my team did well. Your team did really well too. So it's going to be a really good, really strong NFC, really good season if it does happen. We also got to talk about the Houston Astros scandal. We've been meaning to talk about that in a long time. For a long time, we finally got to get that off of our chest.
Yeah, that was my idea.
It was his idea. It was his idea.
Talk about. And when I told him, I was like, I know this is pretty old, but I want to talk about the Astros cheating scandal.
But it's old, son, but it's also somewhat relevant because the Boston Red Sox just got penalized like a week ago.
Yeah.
And they snuck it in with the NFL draft. They snuck that in there because most people were worried about the draft, so they snuck in that Red Sox. So everybody's skating by. And then that's another thing. Nobody's benefiting from this coronavirus more than the Houston Astros because nobody is talking about it. Nobody is talking about it, and the longer the season goes, the easier they're going to skate by. So, because to be honest, I was looking forward to them playing. Because we saw it in spring training, right? The beginning of spring training, they were getting hounded.
I think that was wrong. I think that the players who threw at Altuve, especially Altuve is probably the nicest guy in baseball.
You know how it is in team sports, son.
Yeah, I know. I think the pitcher should have been fined. I think they should have been fined.
I think in the beginning, in the season they're gonna. But you have, as players, I think you have to expect that. Look, you know how I was for a long time, son. I never accepted responsibility. And now as I'm getting older, I've learned to. You do the crime, you got to pay the time. And I think if they're, you know.
And apart from the GM and the coach being fired, they also got sued by a pitcher.
Oh, I don't know how far that went.
Yeah, they got sued.
I know they sued them, but I don't know how far it went or if they got paid out.
To the point where he got paid, I think, $250,000.
Oh, because he
lost his job.
He lost his job because of that. Oh, wow. I remember that. Hey, man, who knows? It could be true.
And teams that weren't even affected by it, like, I don't want to say the Red Sox, because the Red Sox were affected by it. The Rangers. The Rangers were throwing at it, and they had nothing to do with it. They didn't lose the title in 2017. They didn't even make it to the playoffs.
I don't know. I think you just sort of it's at a point, son. There's the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
We got to learn that word integrity and the integrity of the game, and maybe you want to protect your game that you love, that you bust your ass for, and maybe that's how the other teams feel. You never know, But that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Behind the Bar with Rookie Sports Cards. I enjoyed it. I hope all you guys enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. You had 2 sodas.
2.5.
1.5. Dude, yeah, you
One
barely
and a
even drank that. Yeah. So that's good. All right, guys. Thank you guys very much. We will see you guys the next time. You guys have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.